Hey Zuka, what were those girls saying again? Do you like me? Do you love me? Do you believe me?
Yeah, it's like, do you believe me? Do you like me? Or do you believe me? Do you love me? Do you like me? Like, and singing it in a very like, it was like if you're looking for a message and you saw that, you'd be like, that's the message. It was very intentional. It seemed like he was definitely leading us towards that. I looked past it first because I was like, well, like they're just singing in English, and I actually read what they said, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's the 4-4 wallet talking to us.
Does anybody know if Richard Hart is a fan of K-pop at all, or is like spoken about it?
I do not know.
Somebody's got to know. What kind of hexagon are you, Carl?
I mean, it's really interesting. So, like, I have noticed some of the 4-4 tokens being created, and a lot of them have references towards God or Jesus or monophytism, which is, I don't know how to explain it accurately, but it's something to do with Christ. Or I think probably like that there's like one God and only one or something like that. But I just looked at another token. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Nema, and I looked it up on Google, and it's a word that means spirit. So it says in philosophy and religion, spirit is the vital principle or animating essence within humans, or in some views, all living things. So it's really weird that like there's those kind of like connections, and it's like he pointed us towards a video of the K-pop group saying, do you believe me, do you love me? And it's almost like he's trying to make himself become like some sort of divine like being. Like just
I think it's just a message because he can't flat out say it, and he wouldn't flat out say it. So I mean, what better way to for the ones who do believe, I mean, or the ones who are paying attention, maybe he's giving a message.
Yeah, for sure, and he's doing it in like a mysterious way, or it's not so direct.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Because he can't. There's no way.
Another token, like when you type in tokenized asset on Deck Screener, there's another token called timestamp 1750. Like it's directly like go watch this, right? So, but it ain't created by the 4-4 wallet, but it's really interesting that it came out at the same time around these other tokens came out, so it might be just a connection. But when you go to 1750 on that 20-minute long video, the Korean girl is singing, do you believe me, do you like me, do you love me, or do you believe me, do you love me, do you like me, basically asking like, do you believe me? So it's kind of like a very like direct message from the 4-4 wallet saying, hey, like, do you believe in me? Or, kind of giving some mystery. And I think it's a clear message. I think it's trying to communicate to us.
Yeah, I do too. I really think that, that's very clear.
So is this K-pop group related that you guys think? Or, like, is this just something where he wanted us?
Yeah, I think he just wants us to see that and, like, know that, like, we were onto something, right? So I think they've been seeing what we're doing and, like, we're thinking that they're benevolent and things like this. So having him point to this decentralized K-pop group, right? That's, like, the first one, and how they have all these different members, right? They're going to release the information one by one soon. And then pointing to this video that says, do you believe me? Do you love me? Do you like me? Then that's like the only little portion at that timestamp is the only little portion that they sing in English. It's just weird.
That is super weird. So, okay. So how does a decentralized music group work? Is that something that's related that you guys think also, or what?
No, I think it's just kind of like, I don't know. I just think the relation is that like this is a decentralized blockchain. They're a decentralized music group. It's just like, look here, look at that. It delivers like a kind of commonality or something.
It said, I read one description and it said that it was actually going to be on the blockchain so that the fans would have full control of the music group, and I think NFTs are going to be integrated into it. That's kind of like the reasoning. That'd be the best way to do it, tokenize a music group, right? So that's kind of like the reason why I feel like that these tokens are called tokenized asset, because that's what happens when you take an asset and digitize it on the blockchain. You tokenize it, right? So and not only that, but the logo of the band Triple S, it's just the word triple and then the letter S. The logo is a hexagon, and it's the same shape of a hexagon as the one like Block Blend. I'm not saying there's a connection there, but the logo it's different on the inside, but the shape of the hexagon is similar. So
it's definitely a hexagon. That's the same thing. You're right, Zuka. You're onto something.
Yeah. So like when I saw that, I was like, that logo looks familiar, and then I looked at the Block Blend and it looks a little different. So I was like, but it looks similar on the outside. So I was like, that's kind of cool.
So here's my thoughts. Right, because I haven't had very long, obviously, to like really develop a conspiracy or thoughts on it too much. But so basically, what I'm getting is the symbols that are used in that YouTube video are all these different symbols, right? But are they spelling something out with these symbols in their YouTube? I'm not Korean, so I don't even fucking know. I think it's pretty obvious that the dev is Korean and probably maybe likes K-pop. That could be a thing, right? Like the Ocean is a Korean thing. Like, I know a lot of the other symbols, like the backwards swastika and shit, that's like Indian or whatever.
What if you guys think the names like scissors and teddy bear and not treasury bill?
Okay.
Well,
So
I was just curious, what if you think these are the names? What do you think these are the names of some of these like different people, and these are going to be their tokens? Like some of these like actual K-pop members. Like, is that
right.
a possibility?
okay. So teddy bear. I just found something on teddy bear. Type in STAYC. It's another K-pop band, and their top song is Teddy Bear.
See, I think there's a Korean connection here. I think that's what it's going to come down to. And maybe the names of these girls is important. That could be interesting, like what develops out of that, because that's like a big mystery still, apparently. Maybe people from Korea know what the fuck's going on more than we do. But
yeah,
well, that's why
I was gonna answer you, Hollow, because when you said that with Teddy or whatever, so there's another token that was created not by the 414 wallet, but by another wallet that's connected to it. It's like very obscure, and I looked at it, and it takes you to a Minecraft video, and it's like it's a basic Let's Play Minecraft, but the channel name is Teddy Chan. And it's just like one of those avatars, like animated avatars that move and speaks, and it just takes what are they called, VTubers. So it's just a VTuber named Teddy Chan, which is pretty interesting.
Oh, that could be the Japanese Teddy, right? Teddy Chan, because I think Chan is used, like they say that at the end of Japanese names, and Sama and Chan, that's Japanese language, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly. I was watching one of these YouTube videos from the K-pop, and I think I heard like some sort of bell, and it sounded like a bell that I used to hear in one of the games that I used to play, which was Japanese as well. I don't know if you guys know what Persona is, but it's a game from a Japanese developer, and there was also a character in that game that was called Teddy, and it was actual bear. And now I also heard the doorbell, not the doorbell, the bell, which was like a school bell or something. And it was literally the same tone. And when I heard that tone, I'm like, I know this tone from somewhere. So I don't know if there's a coincidence there, or if that's like one of the tones in Japan that they all use. It's interesting.
That is pretty cool. I honestly, in my opinion, I don't know if like the anime K-pop, or if the K-pop band is like the main thing here, because a lot of the other tokens would lead to some sort of weird connection. Like I remember like I think it was a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago, there were some tokens coming out, like one called Fair Trade. There was a token that came out called it was referencing like pirate cracker groups. So like Pirates with Attitude, Fairlight, TriStar, and Red Sector Inc. So apparently those were all like 1990 era
cypherpunks.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems like there's always like some sort of new meta, like cypherpunk. Now it's K-pop. Like there's got to be a connection with all these. I don't know why.
They all have to do with music, though. I realized most of them are music related. Maybe he figured that's the easiest way to onboard, because everyone likes music.
Yeah, true. I just know for one thing it's not random. I definitely think there's a connection. It's like building a puzzle from the inside out, and also learning about a new story, or learning the personality of whoever's behind this thing.
Cypherpunk Koreans, man. Some real rooftop Koreans up in here.
There's no way there was some like cypherpunk Koreans that were on testnet in September 2021 before Pulsex Sacrifice.
It's actually a group from China, Shanghai. Just checked.
The teddy bear group, or the
SNH48?
Stacy?
The group of girls there.
Can I just say those girls all look like the latest girls that joined Telegram? On every group I'm ever in, they all look exactly like that.
You're right.
So yeah, pretty much I dove pretty deep on that. I could basically tell you the whole fucking story about how we came about with Ski Cat, what we found out and everything. We had a lady contact us. She might even be here. I don't know. She was the one who found through the web of wallets connected to 414. There were a bunch of ENS names purchased, like Rich Cat, Poor Cat, this cat, that cat, like all these cat, everything cat, right? And so Ski Cat was this dude this like anonymous person years ago. You can watch Richard Hart videos where Ski Cat kind of like does like these contest things where he's giving away a shitload of hex. And he did this one, I believe it was with hexologists, and he said something about if he could lose weight or something, he would give them like 1,000,000 hex or some shit. I forget the exact things that he was doing, but he was like this uber god hex whale that was like giving away tons of free hex a few years ago. So I talked to a hexologist about it, and he said that there's no way that Ski Cat could be a dev because he's basically like a 60-year-old man that just is not competent in the way of developing tokens and things like that. I don't know. That's what he said, and that's kind of where we left it.
All those ENS names, so like a kid would have or something, or like a young person would have.
Yeah, and and then the NFTs. I mean, if you look at the 414 wallet and you look at some of the wallets that are connected to it on the Ethereum side and other networks, he's got insane amounts of NFTs, and I'm talking like the OG like expensive NFTs that people were dropping like millions on, like all the Yacht Ape and like the freaking, I don't know, you can go look at them, but the dude definitely is somebody who's been in crypto a really long time and has a shit ton of money in crypto and NFTs. But as far as the whole Ski Cat thing, like it's a possibility, but like there's not even if it was like, okay, yeah, it's fucking Ski Cat. Okay, great. And then what? we don't know who Ski Cat is, and we don't know if it's him that has anything to do with this. The ENS names are definitely weird. Like there's probably at least a dozen that I found. I have them all written down somewhere. I'm not near my notes, but yeah, it was like rich cat, poor cat, fast cat, fucking all these cats .eth, so that's pretty much the gist of the Ski Cat story. And that was a while back, and we kind of just dropped it because it was too obscure and it's pretty far reach to connect any dots with that. Although it was pretty interesting to have all those cat ENSs linked directly to 414. I didn't specifically see any like cat ones. Like I'm sure there are. The dude has thousands and thousands. What was crazy to me was on the actual 414. Like the actual 414 wallet, not ones that are linked to it. He had a bunch of Rolex NFTs. So I was like, who likes Rolexes that I know? To specifically link it to South Korean K-pop is like, these tokens are on all different languages. I mean, you got Japanese, you got like medieval shit, you got ASCII, you got there. I mean, it's in every language you could possibly think of. So like, just to pinpoint on like some kind of South Korean thing, I don't think that's. I think that's kind of like the phase that we're in right now, but it changes. Like he keeps coming out with all this different shit. And when he came out with that K-pop token, the symbol of that token, if you type in K-pop and then type in that symbol, there was a K-pop band that was super fucking popular in the 90s. They were called 17, and that symbol for the K-pop token is actually a Korean T, and that super popular band called 17 used that symbol as the T in their logo. So it said 17, but the T was that symbol. So, I mean, that you can, make that connection with like K-pop and like that band. And then now you've got this new one. But again, like there's so many different tokens with different languages and different meanings. And like it seems like they're in different phases. Like the CIA token, the ACID token, and all those that came out together, those are all, people think it's CIA, like the CIA, like Central Intelligence Agency, but it's actually, those were all ASCII art groups they were making ASCII art for video games because back in the 90s, late 80s and 90s, that was like computer art. It was ASCII art. Like we didn't have the same type of, graphics and shit that we have now. So it was all ASCII art, and those were all groups, and they were all like rivals with each other. And so, like, that was a phase of, like, these 90s ASCII art groups. Whoever this person is has a very interesting history, and I think they know a lot about history, and I think that they're just kind of, like, naming these tokens things that mean something to them, or it's something that they want to teach us, or it's, important facts. Like, if you just got to think, if you were 414 and you're making tokens, you're naming shit, I mean, you're going to name it shit that, like, relates to you. I mean, that's That's what I think is happening. But
The teddy bear token. Teddy bear is the name of a song by this K-pop group called Stayc, Stayc. And so they have a song called Teddy Bear, which is the one I was playing earlier. They also have another song that somebody just gave to me in the chat here. It's called Poppy. So Teddy Bear and Poppy are both songs made by this band called Stayc, Stayc.
That's crazy.
The one with all the symbols, that's the group Triple S. It has a lot of the different symbols that the 414 has used.
Yeah, I just came into the space when you guys just started talking about that. So actually, I was trying to find the link, but I can't find it. But yeah, what are the symbols? Like, they're just like coming up in the video
around see all those symbols.
Yeah.
So those are like the E is the Monat money. There's the number 2 in there. I see the one that's scissor. Yeah. I see an upside down R.
There's another possibility. Coach maybe can relate to this kind of kid.
And this is supposed to be the first decentralized music group as well, right?
Right. So what is this? What do those symbols say all close to each other like that? Like what do they say all together? Does it say circle S or whatever they're called?
Triple S. I don't know. I can look it up though.
So I just wanted to say, I mean, a bit of an issue about some of the stuff you're saying about K-pop. Like 17 was not a band from the 90s. They're a K-pop band from like 2015 and beyond. K-pop really didn't exist in the 90s. I mean, it really didn't exist until mid 2005 or so. Before that, it wasn't much of a thing, or especially not an international thing that it was.
Gotcha. No, thank you. So Nutu, when I type into Google, like the first string of characters, like the E2, it looks like a brick over 2 and then a 0 and then something else.
Yeah, no, I see. It tells you the translation right there. It says triple S and then a bunch of numbers, which is what those symbols are. They're numbers. But wait, so I want to go back. Who was just talking? Who was just telling us about K-pop?
That was me. I'm Spiffy-tastic. I am Korean, and I've only listened to K-pop music since about 2005.
Nice. So what do you think about all this stuff? Like, I mean, you see the symbols and like this, some of the songs are named Teddy and Poppy. Do you think that there's some kind of correlation happening with like maybe this group and these tokens and this whole decentralized thing? And do you have, because I kind of have a question about like, do you understand like a decentralized group? Like, what does that really mean?
The short answer is, do I think that there's any real relation to K-pop? No. Could there be? Yeah, of course, but I wouldn't really bet money on it.
Once like China lifts the ban on or have they already unlifted the ban on crypto or Bitcoin or whatever? No, not yet, right? They were talking about it. Like once that happens, open up the floodgate. Pulsechain worldwide.
So it seems like what we're thinking is a possibility is that this is like this like South Korean like group or whatever, or Korean group like label, so to say, that's like you chosen Pulsechain to like launch this like decentralized group, and each group member that's slowly going to be revealed one by one is going to be, each one is going to be one of these tokens, and like even possibly each song is going to be one of these tokens.
No, you basically just said what I was going to say, but I don't think it has anything to do with the band. I don't think that's the end goal. I think it's just a story, a puzzle to put together. You just don't have the full picture yet.
I think these tokens are just a way to capture different audiences to try to help grow Pulsechain. Because, I mean, if you have different religions and different, places and languages, and you could grab a bigger market. Let's just say that.
Yeah, very
One
true.
thing that I would point out is that most K-pop bands don't last for more than 7 years.
That's funny, because where did you get that figure? Because Richard Hart always talks about relationships never lasting more than 7 years.
That's just the standard industry contract and for a K-pop band member.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's so weird.
It would make sense. I mean, most bands don't really make it that long. Like when they involve a lot of people too, it just becomes hectic after a while.
So the one thing I was going to say is this kind of did lead to like what you were talking about, like a decentralized kind of group, but like the ones that have kind of lasted longer than 7 years, what they've kind of done is they've kind of had a rotating roster, and they basically call it like a graduation, where several of the members every year will graduate out and no longer being an active participant in the group, and then they'll pick up new ones. So some of those groups have kind of lasted more than 7 years, but in average, like your contract for K-pop typically lasts like 7 years. So I don't think like that bodes too well for a long-term vision.
Spiffy, I'm going to ask you a direct question. Are you the Atropa dev?
I wish.
All right.
Good, that's a good question.
Is the Atropa dev present? Please come forward.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys know, the other night, I don't know if you noticed, I think it was either the night before last night or the night before that, but the wallet address AAB, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that was one of the wallet addresses that was hard coded into, I believe, the MV token, and we know who he is. But he sent 414 a substantial amount of PLS. I believe it was something like 69,402. I don't know. It was like $65,000 basically of PLS. He sent it to 414, right? Damn. And it was a number that he wanted 414 to recognize. It was some kind of code number thing. He didn't tell me what it was, but he just said that was why he sent it, right? So after he sent 414 that, in Sonny's pub, we all started sending 414 143 tokens. So if you look at 414's transactions from a few nights ago, you'll just see, well, first you'll see AAB sending him a crazy amount of PLS, and then you see 143, 143, 143, 143. All these different wallet addresses sending him 143, right? Which translates to "I love you," right? It's like, binary number way of saying that, with numbers. So now I think it's interesting that this, I don't know, it's just an interesting connection with the him pointing to a YouTube video going to this spot that says, "Do you love me? Do you believe me?" That's interesting.